Next up, it's time to introduce a larger topic, something called methods. So every string we make in JavaScript actually comes with a set of built-in actions, which we call methods, that we can perform using that particular string. So these are like special moves for, I don't know, Pokemon. Every Pokemon has its own set of moves we can do. Every string has a set of methods, although they're all the same. So every string can do the exact same. The string hello can do the same things as the string goodbye, for example. And these methods can be found in the Chrome DevTools. If I look at one of my strings, if I do hello dot, and then we see all of these things listed here. To lowercase, to uppercase, substring, repeat, character add. These are all methods. They're actions that I can take. I can do these things. You can also go to MDN and look at string, their documentation, and on the left side you'll see this large category. First we have properties, right? We talked about length. There's just one property. There's just one piece of information, length. Under methods, there are quite a few of these methods, these actions we can take. So what do? Well, they do a whole range of things. They help us change the casing, make something uppercase or lowercase or capitalize something. We can replace portions of a string. We can search for something within a string. We can duplicate a string and repeat it. We can combine strings. So these are all actions that we can perform using methods. Now here's the syntax. We'll have some thing, in our case a string, and then a dot, a period, and then the name of a method, and then parentheses. So if you can recall, hopefully you can, to access length, we did something similar, hello.length, but there's a very big difference, no parentheses. This is how we access a property. If we add parentheses, we're accessing, or specifically we're executing a method. So let's try one. Let's try a very simple method. Here's one called toUppercase. And this is going to take a string and create a new version of it that is in all caps. So let's do something like let message equal leave me alone right now, I hate you, please. Okay, a very rational normal message. Now if I call message.toUppercase, remember I have to add these parentheses. If I don't, I won't get an error, but it doesn't actually do anything. This is JavaScript's way of telling me, yeah, there is indeed a method called toUppercase, but I didn't run it because you didn't add the parentheses. Now if I add those, take a look. We just did something. Leave me alone right now, I hate you, please. I'm not sure what that please is there for, but there's a please at the end, and everything is caps. It's all capitalized because we called toUppercase. Now this is a non-destructive method, meaning the original message, MSG, unchanged. It made a new copy for us and made it all uppercased. So I could capture that, let angry, not nagry, angry message equal message dot toUppercase with parentheses. Now we look at angry message. It's uppercased. I've captured that value. Original message, lowercased. So we also have the opposite, which is toLowercase. So I can do, LOL, a bunch of other stuff, dot toLowercase. Once again, I need the parentheses, and we get a new version, all lowercase. So here's another pretty simple one. It's called trim. And trim is going to trim off any white space at the beginning of a string or at the end. So this is actually sometimes useful. If you're getting input from a user, you're dealing with data that maybe you don't have full control over, and there might be extra indentation or spaces that you want to remove just to get to the core of a string, we can call .trim. So here's an example. Let's do, I'll clear here. That was Command K, just in case you didn't catch it last time. Let's make a string called user input. And it's going to have a couple of spaces at the beginning. Hello, my name is Tim, Tom, Tammy, Ping, Pong. Yeah, great sentence. So I've got this extra space at the beginning. And if I call trim, user input dot trim, once again, without the parentheses, does nothing. With the parentheses, there we go. It's going to eat up that space and make me a new version of the string. Once again, user input is unchanged. It stays with the space there. And I could do the same thing if I have space on the end or on both sides. Here's a bunch of space like that. dot trim makes me a new version of this string, a new string entirely without that space there or here. Now, this is not going to remove characters that are non-space characters. So it's not going to work here. If I do something like that, dot trim, completely unchanged. It just makes a copy of this string. So it's not like it's only going to trim, or it's only going to keep letter characters. That's not at all the case. It's going to keep everything that is not a space on the left or the right of a string. So it does keep spaces in the middle, as we've seen. It's just going to remove them on the left and right. Now, the other thing I'll show you here before I go away, for this one video at least, is that we can chain methods together. So if I have a string that's longer, or it doesn't have to be long, but let's just do hello again, bunch of exclamation points, and then a lot of space right there. I'm going to save that to a variable. Let greeting. There we go. We have our greeting. And I want to make a version of this string that is both all capitalized. So I'm going to call to uppercase, and I want to trim the space on both sides. I can do this, greeting, dot, and then I can do one of them first. It doesn't really matter. I can trim first. That makes me this new string. And I can chain on right here, dot, and then I can do to uppercase. Okay? And there we go. I get a new copy, completely capitalized and trimmed of all trailing and leading space. So I combine them into one step. I could have done this in 2 steps or more, but this is just an easy way to do it. If I don't need the intermediate and I just want the uppercased trimmed version, nice and easy. So when I chain them together like this is going to run first. Greeting, all right, well, we can replace this. We know what greeting is, right? It started out as this right here. So then we call dot trim on that. Well, what does that give us? That gives us this right here without the space. So you can kind of simplify it down to that dot to uppercase. So it works from left to right, replacing as it goes. So it replaces greeting with the actual value, and then we trim that. So it replaces that with our trimmed version, dot to uppercase, and then that completes. So I could have continued on another level, I guess, to lowercase. It seems a bit stupid to go to uppercase and then lowercase, but I can do that. And it works out. We're all in lowercase. It happened to go to uppercase first and then back to lower. So that is how we can chain methods together, which is actually pretty common too in JavaScript.